going on, everybody? This is Kane Michael here. We are at NAMM 2017 in the Roland area, and sitting with me is the legend of all legends, Jean-Michel Jarre. We're going to be talking about what an amazing year he's had, the albums he's been working on, his tour, and kind of what he's got going on, or what he thinks about things going on. So, first of all, incredible year. It's been 4 decades. But the last year has been potentially the most prolific. Can you tell us about this past year?
Yeah, actually, I started 5 years ago a project called Electronica, and the idea was to gather around me some artists and musicians linked to the electronic scene over 4 generations who are a source of inspiration to me. And then I had no idea about if all these guys would accept. And they all accepted, so I ended with 12.5 hours of music, and I had to do like a little bit like Kill Bill 1 and Kill Bill 2, divided the project in 2 albums. And with people so different from Boys Noise to Armin van Buuren, Laurie Anderson, Pet Shop Boys, Gary Newman, Hans Zimmer, Pete Townsend, Massive Attack, Fuck Buttons, Geza Feldstein, Air, M83, lots of Moby, lots of different people who, I mean, some of them are very kind to say that I've been and I'm kind of influenced to them, and I wanted also to pay tribute to them because they are a big source of inspiration to me as well. And instead of sending files to people that you never meet and you never talk to, the idea was really to share the creative process physically. So I traveled for almost 4 years to complete this project in the US, in Los Angeles, in New York, in Detroit. I was working with people such as Jeff Mills also, and in Berlin, in London, in Paris. And then it took me quite long time to complete these 2 albums. And while I was doing this album, I did a track that was not fitting this project. And I said, if I had to do Oxygen today, I would probably start with this track. And then after having completed this massive production involving lots of people, and some of the songs were almost 100 tracks, I said, okay, I did the first Oxygen with 8 tracks and in 6 weeks. So why not locking myself up in the studio for 6 weeks and just using 8 tracks? And it's what I did as a sequel of the first one. I always loved the idea of sequels. When I did the first Oxygen was made with 6 parts, no names, just part 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I thought even at that time that it would be cool to create a sequel from this project. I mean, you have lots of sequels in literature or movies or on TV, but not that much in music. And I thought it could be quite cool along the way, I mean, to create some sequels from this first project.
Wow. So, I mean, you pretty much named off every tastemaker of every genre possible. What were some of your favorite projects to work on? Was there any ones that really stood out different from the different ones? Like you said, work with Jeff Mills. I mean, that's incredible. I mean, how was that project?
I mean, as all of us, I mean, we love to listen to heavy metal, jazz, classical music, pop songs. I mean, it depends on your mood. And electronic music today has no boundaries anymore. It's everywhere. And it's covering every genre. And I wanted to explore this, to explore how electronic music through time, I mean, invaded all genres of music. So you could say between, for instance, M83 and Jeff Mills, or between Massive Attack and Cyndi Lauper, there is apparently no link, except the electronic music and the quest for sounds. And also an instant recognizable sound. I remember when I was with Moby in his studio here in Los Angeles. I mean, we started working on the demo I brought him. And he just did a D minor, which is the 3 simple notes that any child of 5 years old could play. And it was Moby, And this is what we call style. I mean, people have their specific approach to sounds and to the way they are conceiving music through the sound they like. And every artist I collaborated with has that kind of instant recognizable sound. And I've been really pleased to get nominated for the Grammys for this project, because beyond myself, it's also something that I think gives justice to all these great artists I've been working with.
So, I mean, you did these albums, and obviously, you know, in electronic music, an album is one thing, but then there's the other side, the touring side, and you've got a great tour planned. Can you kind of tell us what you've got planned for the tour?
Yes, I just finished the European leg with 50 concerts, quite a big arena tour, and I must say we had a fantastic welcome both from the audience and from the media point of view, and it's basically linked, because probably it's quite an interesting mix of the new production, very contemporary, with a very contemporary sound, with some of my classic revisited, but more also, you know, I've been always involved in my life for live performances with visual. I've been probably one of the first artists to involve and integrate visuals at that stage. Yes, yeah. And for a long time I was very interested by trying to express visually what I'm doing when I'm composing, when I'm mixing. I mean, trying to create architecture of sound, soundscapes, creating perspectives in my mix, and to try to express this on a visual point of view. And I conceived visually a scenography involving a kind of 3D, but not 3D with glasses, 3D without glasses, with layers of LED screens with transparencies. And I had no idea if it would work. And during the first rehearsal, we were all blown away, because it's really fantastic, and it's really almost part of the orchestration, of the arrangement of the music. So, and it has to be seen to be felt, because you know, you have, in lots of cases, you can watch on YouTube a concert and you have more or less the idea of what it is. But in that case, what you see on YouTube has nothing to do with the emotion and the feeling you have when you really are experiencing the whole concert live.
So, I mean, you did 3 albums, so obviously, you know, you used a lot of gear, maybe inside the box, outside the box. What are some synthesizers that you found that are current that you really like? And then are there some that have been returning on previous albums, some that you've just had for over the years that you always go to? Kind of tell us about your go-to synthesizers.
I think we have 3 on stage with almost, 50, 60 hardware, plus also some virtual instruments and plugins. And in my own kitchen, I would say, I have as a central point the new System 8 from Roland, which is very, very interesting, with the System 500 and the Jarre FX. It's really like a control center for me, where I'm not using only the sound of the System 8, but also I love the fact that you have lots of controllers, and that allow me, like almost in a DJ position, to control other synths and via MIDI. I'm using also the Moog Sub 37. I have a big transparent touchscreen, kind of Minority Report type of concept, where I can really play some effects, but also play some drones and making textures evolving. I have also the modular ARP 2600.
Oh, wow.
And also the AKS, and very interesting synth called the Elements from Macbeth. It's a fantastic. It's not very known synth. It's a vintage concept, but being made 5 years ago, I think. Fantastic sound. I got the Memory Moog also, and a big modular from Italy called the GRP. Fantastic. It's a modular without cables, just with switches, and also obviously there's quite lots of plugins such as Omnisphere that I control from the Complete Control or the A Pro 800 from Roland.
Okay. So I guess
the other things I forgot.
Just I guess to wrap it up, over the years you've seen a lot of changes, both musically, in the studio and on stage. Is there anything that's kind of standing out to you right now that you really think is exciting in terms of maybe live performances or just kind of anything? Is there anything that's really standing out to you right now?
You know, technology always dictated styles. It's because the violin has been invented that Vivaldi existed. It's because we were talking about Jeff Mills. Jeff Mills would not exist without the TR-808. And the same thing for, if you think about without Massive as a plug-in from Native Instruments, probably the dubstep won't exist and Skrillex wouldn't exist in the same way. So actually, we see how we are depending on technology, but at the same time, I mean, we as artists, I mean, what we can do is actually we should not wait too much from technology. I mean, it's what makes your music, my music different is who we are, and from the years you have. I mean, we are talking about the TR-808 or TB-303. That changed entirely the way of doing electronic music. And today, the System 8 or the Moog Sub 37 of the Theremin, or I mean, you have some instruments which are like highlights or very important steps into the evolution of electronic music, and which is very exciting today. Is actually you can mix in box, out of the box, in the box, and plugins, virtual instruments, digital, analog. I mean, to make really the music you want to do, actually.
Incredible, absolutely incredible. So once again, Kane Michael here in the Roland booth at NAMM 2017 with the legend Jean-Michel Jarre. It was an absolute pleasure talking to you, and we really look forward to your tour.
Thank you. My pleasure. Thank you.